Hey everyone, so just recording this video for you guys to give you, I suppose, an insight into what it's like to be somebody who is self-employed. First of all, I just want to say apologies if there is some background noise. I'm house sharing, so there could be noises from all over, so apologies in advance. Okay, so I suppose an introduction about me. My name is Angela. I've been working in the fitness industry for over 10 years. To go way back, I've always been involved in sports and physical activity, like from a very young age. I think from the minute I could walk, I was playing football, running, cycling, you name it. Anything outdoors, anything that required energy, I was all over it. Just a very energetic child, and it stayed with me thankfully all the ways up into my adolescence and right into my 20s. So I suppose that wasn't really a good match for school, because I was very disruptive, little bit of a troublemaker, and I guess like college, leaving cert, all that kind of stuff, like didn't really come into my head. I didn't think I was clever enough, didn't think I was good enough to go to college or have like a career. I just thought like I'd get a job somewhere and just work away and that would be it. But you know, thankfully the people in my life, like my family, different people that I met along the way, you know, encouraged me and supported me in different ways, in ways that I didn't know I needed at the time, but have certainly paid off. So I guess like to go back to my leaving cert days, like didn't study, didn't pay attention, have a ton of regrets for not doing the work that I could have done, could have got a really good leaving cert, but I just didn't apply myself. I wasn't very academic, because I just didn't have the interest in it, and I didn't think I'd have any chance of, you know, having something like in terms of college or anything like that in my future. But I did, however, play soccer at an international level for Ireland, and I thought that was my ticket out. That's what I was going to do. I'll just play soccer, and sure, I'll live in the UK or wherever else, America or whatever, and just play soccer for a living. But unfortunately for me at the time, my parents had other plans, and they thought like, no, you have to go to college because, you know, soccer's not going to pay the bills and you can't do it forever. In hindsight, they were right. I wouldn't tell them that, but definitely college was the best decision of my life, for sure. Even getting into college, my leaving cert didn't get me into college. It was my physical abilities that got me into college. So I actually got in on a soccer scholarship for the 4 years of my degree, which was a massive, massive help. Neither of my parents were working at the time, and all the financial support that I needed, I received, which I was very, very lucky to get. And it made definitely going to college much easier for me. I'm one of nine, and I'm the only one to go to college straight out of school. So it was definitely a big deal. But also it was kind of a solo gig. Nobody had gone through before me, so they couldn't really, I suppose, help and advise me. Luckily enough, I was actually given a tutor on getting into college on the scholarship. So that lady was, I think, my saving grace in there, because within the first 3 months of starting college, I was hitting the eject button, ready to get the hell out of there, because I didn't think I could do it. I thought I wasn't able, and it was just all going over my head. The physical side of things, yeah, the classes, the gym, loved all that. The nights out, that was all brilliant. But in terms of the academic side, I thought like, nah, I can't do this at all. So I was ready to jump ship. But thankfully, I was talked around and I was given the right supports, luckily enough, which I'm very, very grateful for. And it, I suppose, going to college provided me with the skills that I have now, thankfully. In college, I was working part-time in a bar and restaurant, but they also had a leisure club attached to it. So I kind of inched my way over to the leisure club from time to time. I knew the staff inside there, and I was trying to more or less get my foot in the door to try and get a job there for the summer or whatever it was, work experience, anything at all I was willing to kind of take, because I didn't want to work in the bar and restaurant anymore. It had served its purpose at that stage, you know, got me through college. It helped fund the nights out and trips and stuff like that, but it wasn't something I wanted to do forever. And the leisure club, like I said, it was right across from the restaurant. Like, it was always in the restaurant, looking across at the leisure club, wanted to be in there, wanted to be working there. And I suppose I kept bothering my manager and the manager of the leisure club until I got a job. I don't actually even think I did a formal interview. It was just a case of, I really want to work here. I'll work for free if I have to at the start, but I want to end up here. Tried it out for a couple of weeks, ended up working like 15, 16-hour days for maybe 5 or 6 weeks. And then they were convinced that I was good enough, I suppose, to be part of the team. I was thrilled, ready to hang up the apron, get rid of the skirt and all the rest of it, but traded them in for a t-shirt and short, which was awesome. I loved it. Worked there on and off for probably 8 or 9 years. I actually left there for a year and a half, went traveling, and ended up coming back into the job. My manager offered me the job back when I came back to Ireland, which was awesome. I didn't have to worry about getting work when I came home. No funds after a year and a half of traveling, so it was definitely a great place to start. Now over the years, working there, it was fantastic. But I guess as I was getting older, I was thinking like, right, okay, try and work as much as I can, make as much money as I can, but also the other side of me wanted to help as many people as I can. But working in that physical job on the gym floor, I couldn't see all the people that I wanted to see. I couldn't make the impact that I wanted to make. And I ended up burning out. So a combination of working on the gym floor, teaching fitness classes, teaching swimming lessons in and out of the pool, 5-6 days a week, working maybe 50-60-hour weeks. It was just not sustainable. And towards the end of 2019, I ended up burning out. I thought I was depressed, but when I went to see my doctor, they actually told me I burned out. So you can, it's burnout is essentially like you can experience the symptoms of depression, but it wasn't actually depression, it was burnout. So I just had worked myself too much. It was all work and no play, and it led me to a very, I suppose, sad place for myself. I didn't know what I wanted. I wasn't enjoying my work anymore. I was pulling back from social occasions. I wouldn't see friends. I was making excuses. And I was just, I suppose, cutting myself off because I wasn't able to handle things at the moment. I was just exhausted, like physically and mentally exhausted. So I ended up having to take 4 to 6 weeks off work. Got signed off, went to a counsellor to check on my mental health because it wasn't great. It was completely neglected and I wasn't in a good place mentally. So I had to take myself out of that work for that time, reflect on what I wanted to do, what I needed to do for my health. And, I suppose getting to that point, for about a year before that, I was contemplating leaving that job for a long time because of the workload. And then there was other work conflicts going on as well, but I was starting to just lose the joy of the work. And I knew that was a problem because I love this work and that love was starting to leave me and I knew it wasn't right. So in the end of 2019, after a lot of thinking, like I said, a year of considering leaving and then another maybe 3 or 4 months of deciding to leave, I handed in my notice in December 2019, and most definitely the best decision I made. Even COVID aside, definitely the best decision I made. January 2020, of course, I was starting a self-employed life. I was going to be personal training and swim teaching. So a combination of both, working 4 days a week, making more money than I was in that full-time job for less hours. I had 3 days off a week. I literally thought I was living the dream. January to March 2020, I thought like life doesn't get better than this. And COVID hit, the panic hit, the worry hit, the fear hit, anxiety levels went up. I thought, how can I survive? I didn't have the financial backing just yet. I had bills that I had to be paid. I thought I was going to lose my car. I didn't have a place of my own, a room of my own. I was sharing, so it was a very, very stressful time. Thankfully, I got support from the government, which helped me out so much. And And I guess from March until the middle of the summer, I was unemployed, no work, sat around in my butt, doing nothing, feeling sorry for myself. I think like the rest of the world, we just didn't know what to do. My whole freedom was taken away from me. And it was definitely a shock to the system. I then was lucky enough to get a job in a local gym in Tralee, and helped out a friend there, teaching classes, doing a bit of personal training, and that definitely helped keep me going. I was then offered another job to run a gym in Kerry also. It was great, got it set up, got things running, got off the ground, and then the second lockdown happened, shut all that down. And yeah, things just didn't work out there for me. I had to think what was best for me, and that wasn't best for me at the time. So essentially I had to leave 3 jobs in the space of 10 months, which was insane, because a year and a half before that I would have been like literally trying to leave the first job was so difficult. But after that spell in 2019, I realized like my health was far more important than any job. So once I made that decision, it was easier to let go of other things that were getting in my way. So finished up in that job, spent from September to January, February thinking that I wanted to do a master's. Thought that was the next step for me to go on, because, you know, I had done the gym thing essentially. And there was like a million online personal trainers, and I just thought like I couldn't compete with that. I'm not good enough for it. You know, maybe I need to do something else. And, you know, as much as I thought I wanted to do the master's degree, it didn't sit with me. Like, it wasn't like a full body yes. It was kind of like, yeah, I want to do it, but I could do something else. And it just didn't sit with me. One evening I was on my phone, Instagram, scrolling through, seeing this business mentorship for online personal trainers, like trying to leave the gym floor, going online. I thought, right, I'll give it a look. Within 3 days, I signed up with the course, cancelled my applications to the colleges for the master's degrees, and went all in on the online training. So I guess the pandemic did force me into making that decision, because I was given a lot of time to think and assess what I needed. If I had been in other different jobs before making this decision, I think I would have been too distracted, and not able to give it my full attention. I was always the type of person, you know, I was always helping everyone else and working for everyone else. At one stage last year, I think I had 3 jobs, and, you know, it wasn't all for me. You know, yes, I was doing the work and I loved the work, but it was working for other people. And I just thought like, I can't do this, because I can't be fully in one thing. But with the online training, it's fully all me. It's all of my attention. It's all for me, and it's all for my clients. And yeah, it's just more manageable for me to do. So yes, the pandemic definitely impacted me negatively and positively. Yeah, it stopped what I thought was like my dream job initially, and put me into a little bit of a panic, but it steered me in the direction that I feel like I'm meant to be in now. And I'm definitely grateful for the time that I had off, because it just allowed me that time. You know, really, like, I don't think we're ever, well, hopefully we're never going to get that kind of time back again to be so idle. But I definitely feel like I made the most of it. I think the pandemic has definitely been good for me, mentally, and emotionally. It's taught me a lot about myself. There's been a lot of growth over the past year and a half. Growth isn't easy, change isn't easy, but it's a means to an end, and I definitely feel like I'm where I'm meant to be right now. And I guess, you know, with going online and with the position that I'm in now, not all of it had to do with college. A lot of it had to do with like my own personal choices, a lot of upskilling. I've had to do a lot of extra courses outside of my degree to get to the place that I'm at now, both like online, all the studies. I did a nutrition course, upskilled with you know, helping people for weight loss, strength training. I've done numerous strength training courses. You know, there's been a lot more than just my college degree to get me to where I am, but it was all fueled by a passion for what I wanted to do, helping people, and from my love of physical activity and sports. So I was able to combine the two. So I think, you know, it's very hard to know. Like, I mean, 10 years ago, 2 years ago, if someone had said to me, like, where do you want to be in 5 years' time? I probably would have been like, you know, so never mind 10 years ago, or even like starting college, leaving school. Like, you know, I think we've been kind of taught that this is the logical order: finish school, go into college, get a career, and that's it. But I think, like, any advice that I could give to somebody leaving school now is take time out, get a job, even go traveling, and figure out what makes you tick, what works for you, what doesn't work for you. I think the biggest thing you can do when you leave school is learn about yourself. And I don't think there's any better way to learn about yourself than there is to travel, even if it's around your own country or around other countries. Traveling can really just teach you so much about yourself. Meeting new people can teach you things, you know, what you're into, what you're not into. And I think learning that can give you a better idea of what you want to do with your life, and finding, I guess, your purpose and your meaning in life as to, you know, where you want to go, what you want to do. Do you want to help people? Do you want to build something? Do you want to develop something? Do you want to work for somebody else? You know, you kind of, it's very hard to figure out, like, out of school, 17, 18, 19, 20, like, even now, like, I just turned 30 this year, you know, and I still don't have it all figured out. I still don't know where this is going to take me. All I know is right now I'm where I'm meant to be, and I'm able to go all in on what I'm doing right now because I don't have any other distractions. I don't have any other jobs. You know, this is all me now. So yeah, like, that would be my advice: is don't panic. Things will work out if you're willing to learn and gain experience, like, about yourself. I think that's definitely the biggest thing I've learned in the last 10 years is opening yourself up to opportunities, not to, like, pigeonhole yourself. Like, don't cut yourself off to certain things, because essentially we can learn how to do anything. So taking that time out, either traveling, working, whatever you do, picking up part-time job, you know, something in service or whatever it may be, you will definitely gain something from it, and you'll get to where you're meant to be. But I think it's about learning about you, what makes you tick, what makes you want to get out of bed in the morning. That's definitely, I think, what gets you to where you need to be. I don't think it's a straight line of school, college, work. I think those days are thankfully behind us now. You know, it's not as like back in the day where you had to get a job and you had to have it all figured out, because it's not like that anymore. So yeah, I hope you found this useful. Like I said, I think I just might have been waffling on, but I'm more than happy to help you out. If you want to reach out after this video, just drop me an email or whatever. I'll send Barbara my contact details, and hopefully you will be able to get something from this. Thanks a million.